Okay, I am going to show you how to do a simple grade calculation. So I've got a list here. There's, I think I did 10 different names. Yeah, and then they repeat over and over again. Got 100 rows of data. Let's say I've been in some class doing grades. Okay, so first thing I want to do is I want to get a unique list. So I'm going to copy these guys. I'm just going to paste it over here somewhere. And then I'm going to go to data. And I'm going to remove the duplicates. Click OK. So now you can see I have actually 9 unique names that are just repeated a bunch of times to get me 100 rows. Now what I want to do is for Parnell Dunsmuir, I want to know how many A's did he get, how many B's did he get, how many C's, how many D's, how many F's, so on and so forth. It's fairly straightforward to do that. What we're going to do, we're going to do equals count if S, and that's the count if that lets you do multiple criteria. So the first criteria we want, so you highlight the range, so this is going to be the name, comma, G2. So that's going to say count if their name equals Parnell, comma. Criteria 2, highlight the grade, comma, and then click H1. So Parnell got 4 A's. Now let's confirm that that's true. I'm just going to sort. Make it easier to see it. Here's Mr. Parnell. Sure enough, he's got 4 A's. Okay. Now, we can't click and drag this formula because things are going to happen. So if I click this over, see how this is column A colon A. If I go over here, it's now B colon B because it's relative. When you drag this over, the formula is going to change relative to how many columns over I move it. So I'm going to click here between the A and the A, and I'm going to hit F4. And that's going to add a $sign before each of the A's. I'm going to do the same thing here. Great. So now when I drag this over, see how this remains A colon A, this remains B colon B. That's great. But you'll notice this one, G2, became H2. We don't want that. When I drag this down this way, I do want the 2 to change. So I want this row to be G3, I want this to be G4, G5, etc. But when I go this way, I don't want the G to change. So the way you do that is click to the left of the G, and you can either manually type a $sign, or you can hit F4, and you can toggle until it looks like that. By toggle, I mean just hit F4 again. It'll keep toggling between the options, but you want $G2. Now, when we get to this one, we have the opposite problem. When I drag left to right, I want the H to become G to become J to become etc. Or sorry, the H to become I, and then J and then K. So I want the H to move as I go left to right, but I don't want the number to move as I go down. So you can do that. So now when I drag this over, you'll see AA, that's our name column, G2, that's our name, BB, that's our grade column, and L1 is my grade criteria. So now if I drag this down, let's just look at this one. So column A is where the names are. JERG is in G3. Column B is where the grades are. We want to look for A's, which is H1, so it worked great. Drag that down. There you go. So that is for each person, how many A's, how many B's, how many C's, how many D's, how many F's. Now, if you wanted to make this an actual grade, a simple way to do a real rudimentary GPA So that's your total. So what it's going to do for each one, it's going to do 4 times 4, 2 times 3 is 6, 3, 3, and 0. And then it's going to add those up. And what you end up with is a total of 27. Okay. So to get a GPA then, you can just do that divided by the number of scores they had. So they've got a 2.45 GPA. And we don't want all the zeros, all those decimals, so we're going to do that. And there you go, just like that. You've taken individual grades and you have converted it to a GPA for each student.